Okay, I think. Okay, everyone. I think we are ready now, and we can start our session. So yeah, once again, thanks a lot to everyone for joining this session. Actually, the purpose of this session is to explore how AI is impacting QA and how we can utilize the AI capabilities to improve our testing processes. Actually, we started using AI in Testiva from last year, and we saw massive improvement in our testing processes with AI, in our productivity, in our efficiency towards the QA. So I was posting my findings on LinkedIn and was getting lots of messages regarding its impact, how we can utilize the AI. So I thought to have a webinar where we can discuss all these subjects like the impact and how we can improve through AI. So we will first I will describe how AI is impacting the QA industry, and then Abdullah Azim will be giving you a demo where he will demonstrate how we can utilize AI capabilities for better testing. So Abdullah, can you move to the next slide, please? Okay, so first we need to analyze the AI impact on tech jobs. Actually, there are lots of layoff in recent times, and the trend is getting more. Actually, more it's trend. The trend is getting high with the time. As you can see, just in US there was 80,000 layoffs last year, and mainly the reason was AI. There are a few other political and financial issues as well, but the in tech jobs, most the one factor which is causing the layoff is the AI, and we will see how we can save our jobs or grow our career by using AI, not by being impacted by AI. Next slide, please. Okay, to analyze the impact of AI in QA industry, first we need to analyze the AI impact on software development, because QA is directly dependent on the software development. Once we have the software available, then the actual QA starts. Although it starts from the requirements as well, but the actual testing starts once we have the application available. And AI is really impacting the software development. Now everyone is using AI. We have gone past the era where there was a discussion whether we should use AI or we should not use AI. Now everyone is using AI. There are lots of AI generated assisted code generation tools like GitHub, Cursor, Copilot. All these are different developers are using these tools, and how they are impacting, they are giving lots of output actually in very less time. There are 5 to 10%, 10 times actually productivity in those development efforts. The development cycle has reduced greatly right now. The months of development work is being done in days right now, and this is also challenging actually QA as well, because with the traditional QA approaches we cannot we cannot match with the this rapid software development. Next slide. So we have to analyze how we can use AI actually to match up the development speed, because the traditional QA will not work right now. We don't have months and weeks of QA effort. As software development cycle has reduced, the QA cycle as well. So there is no other option other than using the AI to get some assistant to do the work faster and match the development speed. Next slide, please. Okay, although AI is a great assistant, it's helping the developer to code fast, but there are a few downside of the AI as well. Like, due to the human nature, actually we become lazy with the tools actually. So as per a study, 25 to 35% of the developer who accept AI code suggestion without proper review. Although AI can give you the code, but it's not always the 100% accurate code. You have to review it. But the human in the loop concept is very important. It actually something which we cannot ignore at least at this moment when the machines are not 100% accurate. They sometimes they lack context, sometimes they are not giving the right output, so it always mandatory to review that code. But many developers are not reviewing that code, and they are shipping it as they are getting the AI output. And second thing, major issue the AI assisted code is generating is the security flaws. As we are dealing with the sensitive data, we are using the AI code and we are exposing that data to the cloud. The security vulnerabilities is getting more common right now, and it's also giving a chance to the hacker to hack a particular application because we are not following the strict development architecture, the best coding practices. These are also going down with the AI assisted code. So these are all different areas where actually QA can come up and QA can contribute there. Okay, so next slide we will discuss how QA can actually improve all this situation. And one clear shift I see within the last few months in the QA industry. Previously, there were different team structure within the QA teams. There was junior QA, senior QA. Then we have a team lead, QA managers. There were a hierarchy in the roles. But recently, I see there are more and more companies, especially the independent QA testing companies. They are developing their own tools. I know dozens of companies who have developed their AI powered tools where you can just you just give the URL, you just give the requirements in the form of Figma or in form of the Notion document, and they create a complete test plan. They will execute it, they will report bugs in it as well. So the role of QA is changed now. QA is more of a QA engineer to the QA manager who is managing different tools actually. People are more intended to buy those tools instead of hiring many people. They are subscribing to those tools and giving those tools the QA engineer who is using one tool to do the work of 4 to 5 persons. And this is one of another reason why there are lots of layoff in the market as well. Where people are using the tools and giving those tools the QA person who is doing 3 or 4 more productive work with those tools. So this is a clear shift in the industry. Now we can't sell the being a QA independent QA testing company. We can't sell the resources. We the selling point is a tool with the resource. The shift has there is a clear shift within the demand and the QA industry workflows as well. And the opportunities where QA can contribute are there, where the QA growth is available. Next slide, please. As per my knowledge, there are 5 areas where the QA can contribute, or there where QA can build their career. First of them is the AI powered QA. If you are in the QA and you are not using AI, you are far behind from the rest. And one thing which I observed personally, I talk to many QA engineer. I discuss with multiple QA groups within with different QA groups as well. The AI adoption within the QA community is very low as compared to others. The developers, they are more than 90% of the developers are using AI assisted tools, but when we talk to the QA engineer, there are very few engineers who know how to use the AI, how we can optimize our performance, how we can be more productive with AI. There is a clear gap within this domain. So in this session, Abdullah, he will demonstrate how we can utilize AI to do the effective testing. And second major shift in QA is the LLMs, ML applications testing. Because there is more and more development, AI assisted development, and the people are going towards the developing AI models. So the need of testing is also arising with time. And here as well, there is lots of gap within the industry. There are very few people. Like a few months back, I was talking to a person who is managing a big QA company, around 4 to 500 QA resources, and he was telling that we don't have a specialized AI testing engineer in our team. So there is a huge gap in this area, and there will be a lots of demand in this area as well in the future as well. Even in our company, we have seen on different client calls, although they have a single AI module in their application, but they are always more focused to know how we will be testing the AI, how we will be testing their AI model. So clients are also more intended, more curious to know how AI models can be tested. There are multiple tools available. There are different tools, open source as well as the paid tools available in the market, which can be used to test the AI models as well. And number three is the domain expertise. The domain expertise, it was always important for the QA, but in the recent time, due to the AI, the domain expertise has become massively important right now, because if you don't have a proper domain, you can't train AI, you can't ask AI what you need, you cannot get the output of the AI, even you cannot evaluate whether this AI input is correct or not unless you have a deep domain expertise. So this domain expertise is very very important for the QA in this era. And number four is being a full stack QA engineer. There were era when we have a QA engineer, functional QA engineer with 10, 15, 20 years of experience, and he has a clear roadmap for his career. But right now, due to the AI and the roles are merging as well. Teams are not preferring someone alone with the test automation experience, performance testing, and the functional testing. They are asking a single person who can do all those roles actually. So the roles are merging right now, and we need to equip ourselves with all different types of testing, like the functional testing, automation testing, backend testing, performance testing, testing of AI models. And with the help of AI, it can be easily learned as well. AI is very helpful in learning all those skills as well. So if you are in the QA, make sure you learn all these different testing types as well. And the finally, one major area is the security testing. As I described in my last slide as well, there will be lots of security concern moving in the future, because all the sensitive data is being exposed. It will be over the cloud, so the security will be a major thing. And many experts are saying after AI there will be a much bigger boom of security testing in the future, in the very coming in very upcoming future as well. So this is one thing where if you can concentrate, you can build your career. So regarding the Testiva, Abdullah, next slide please. As I mentioned, we started exploring AI last year. We have a dedicated AI testing team, and we have developed our expertise in testing AI models. Not only AI models, but we are using AI in every testing activity we have. We have make sure we have made this mandatory within our company for every QA engineer to use as much AI as you can. And it has greatly improved our efficiency as well, being a QA team. Now we are with very less number of people, we can handle multiple projects. A single person can work on multiple projects concurrently, and the productivity and the efficiency has also increased with these AI tools. So this is a bit of introduction about the AI impact on testing. Now I will hand over to Abdullah, who will be giving you the live demo how we can utilize AI in our testing processes. Over to Abdullah.
Hi everyone, I'm Abdullah Azim. I work as an AI test engineer at Testiva, where I actively use and explore AI in daily testing and also work on testing the AI and LLM based applications such as agents or RAG applications. So today I would show you how AI can be used in a practical way to improve your everyday QA work. So here's what we will cover. There are 5 parts of the testing workflow you already know: requirement analysis, test case generation, execution, bug reporting, and at the end regression testing. For all the phases except execution, I will show you how you can utilize ChatGPT. And for execution is something which the LLMs can do on their own. For that, at the end, we have a bonus demo of an AI powered tool that handles everything automatically. It generates test, runs them, and it reports the result all from a plain English requirement. Okay, so moving towards requirement analysis, this is where most quality issues actually start, not in the testing or in the code, but in the requirements then itself. A bad requirement is basically a defect waiting to happen. So that's why shift left testing is important. The earlier you find issues, the cheaper they are to fix. So the two key uses of AI here, one is domain knowledge on demand. Imagine you get a payment feature, card tokenization, and you have never worked on payments before. Normally, you would have to then read documents, ask developers, or have to do guesswork. With AI, you can get how systems work, the domain knowledge of that field, compliance requirements, or common failure points, in all in 2 minutes. The other key use can be ambiguity and gap detection. You can give the user story to the AI and ask what is unclear, missing, or what cannot be tested. Okay. So now we'll move on to the live demo using ChatGPT for requirement analysis. So this is a project structure we can use. We can make projects for different modules or for the overall project. We can then group chats in here in ChatGPT. Also, we can upload different sources, documents, Slack here to give ChatGPT extra context while giving answers to you. Also moving before to the requirement analysis, I will also show a simple example for a prompt library. This is a library which the team can maintain. We can save and reuse prompts here, and they can also be iteratively improved upon. Okay, so here I will use one of the prompts from the prompt library on domain knowledge along with the user story which I have over here. This is related to a payment method on which I am not aware of the domain knowledge. So after giving the prompt and the user story, I have asked the AI to explain and build a domain knowledge around the story, explain the core domain concepts, explain common failure scenarios, and the important edge cases. So it has given me the domain overview, core concepts, and this is most important, which are the failed scenarios. These are the scenarios which the QA might have missed if without having the required domain knowledge. Okay. So the next part is in this phase is giving the user story to the AI and asking it for ambiguity and gap detection. So I will ask in this prompt, what is missing, what is vague or contradictory in the user story, and at the end, I will also ask the AI to give me an improved version of the requirement using the domain knowledge, which will be used later in test case generation. So here it has done the analysis with and displayed the results, the gap analysis, and at the end, it has given me an improved user story. The last step we do at this phase is we now take the domain knowledge and the improved user story and ask the AI to build user personas for us. A persona is simply a type of user, for example, a new user or a misused user. So here it has generated 5 personas based on the user story and the domain, which is a casual shopper, a power user, frequent buyer, etc. So these then can be used while test case generation. So before I move on to test case generation, there's one concept I will quickly cover. That is, why do some AI outputs look great and others seem useless? This is because of how you write prompts. Every good prompt should have 4 parts: a role, context, constraint, format. Role is who the AI is, context is what the situation is, constraint is what to focus on, and format is how the output we want to look. Example of this could be, instead of using a generic write test cases, we could use a better prompt with all 4 constraints. So using a better uh, prompt would result in better accuracy, usable outputs, and less cleanup work later on. Okay, so now moving on to AI test case generator. AI can convert a user story in test cases covering positive, negative, and edge cases, but the output quality depends on the input quality. So there are two approaches. One is using spec-based test cases. By providing requirements, we ask the AI to generate test cases. And the second is persona-driven test cases. So the personas we created, we can now use those with the prompt to generate test cases specific to the user personas. So I will go back to the same chat. First, I will just give generic a generic prompt. So here the AI has started giving us test cases, but the outputs are generic. The coverage is also lower on prompts such as these, and the format is not usable. So now we can then use a better prompt which has the context, task, different constraints, and the format we want. So there are a few constraints which we have added, which is to avoid very small test cases. So a behavior we saw with LLM generated test cases was that they would break the test cases into very small uh, s- steps or test cases instead of going for meaningful end-to-end workflows. So we have added one uh, constraint such as that, and we also observed that they did not cover the full coverage. So they did not include negative or the edge cases. So we then improved our prompt iteratively. So now I will be using this. So now we can see the AI is generating better test cases with better coverage and end-to-end workflows, and it is also being displayed in an output format we want. We can then also ask the LLM to generate an Excel file. Okay. The next step could be we could also ask the AI to generate test cases based on the user's persona we previously met. So it is now generating test cases specific for each persona name. So now the output has better coverage, more practical,
Uh, can you please
and
elaborate
uses better
more?
domain knowledge.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you please
So we
elaborate
now
it?
have test cases generated for each user persona. Okay, so moving on to test execution. So this is where things get even more powerful. Modern AI tools can take requirements, generate tests, and also execute them, which is similar to someone would actually manually execute them and report results instantly. LLM cannot directly do that. So for this, we will be showing a live demo of AI-powered tool called Test Commit, which will be covered at the end. So moving on to bug reporting and analysis, writing a good bug report takes time, sometimes even more than actually finding the bug. With AI, we can just paste our raw notes, which we wrote during the testing, and AI can create a clean, structured Jira ready bug report format. And also another key use here is for bug analysis. Instead of looking bugs one by one, we can use AI to analyze a full sprint's data, and it can then tell you where what keeps failing, which module is weak, and where we can focus more on the for the testing on the next sprint. Okay. So for this, I have an Excel sheet which has raw notes which were written down during testing. And this, along with the prompt, I will then ask the LLM to generate bug reports with structured. So here I've given the prompt and the Excel sheet, and it has given me properly structured bug reports, which then I can even ask the LLM to give me an Excel sheet for. So it would then create a similar Excel sheet like this. So here we can see it has provided with clear bug titles, step-by-step production steps, preconditions, and severity classification, etc. And this was the output format we wanted. So the benefit of this is that it saves significant reporting time, and it also ensures consistency across all bug reports, and reduces the chances of missing any important details. So the next phase is bug trend analysis. For this, I have a bug report. These are all the bugs related to different modules found in the last sprint. I will give this to the LLM and ask it to automatically identify recurring failure patterns, weak or unstable modules. So here I've provided it with the bug log with the prompt. So it will give me a pattern analysis, high risk modules, and also the root cause themes. At the end, it will also recommend what areas or high risk functional areas there are, which we can focus more on the upcoming sprints. So next is regression testing. Most teams do regression where they run everything every time. It can take more time and can also lead to issues getting missed. With AI, you can just simply give the release changes and the test regression suite, and the AI will then analyze and tell which test actually matter. So for the demo here, I have a regression suite. These are test cases from different modules, and these are the release tickets from the development team, which will be done in the current sprint. So I can then give these both to the AI, and it can then analyze and tell me which test cases must be run in from the regression suite, which should be run, which are not that high priority, and which we should skip. And then at the end, it can also give missing coverage or gap analysis as well. So the main benefit is that it would reduce execution time, focus. We could only focus mainly on the high risk areas and avoid unnecessary test cycles. So now I will be moving on to the demo of Test Comet, which is an AI powered tool. So let me just switch my screens for that. Okay, so before we jump into the demo, it's important to understand why tools like this even exist or the value they provide. So in most QA teams, even today, a lot of time still goes on writing test cases, running them manually again and again for regression and maintaining scripts. So this is where such AI-powered tools come in. Instead of manually doing everything, AI can now generate test cases directly from requirements, reduce the manual effort in execution, and improve coverage by catching more scenarios consistently. It can also help in speeding up the regression cycles, uh, which are the most time consuming part of testing. So, now coming to the tool, Test Comet is an AI powered tool which is built by AI Test Group, and we use at Testiva for our testing. You can check them out, AI Test Group, at LinkedIn. So the main features of this tool is that we give it requirements in simple English, and it can generate test cases automatically, and then it even executes them via an AI agent on the given URL or the mobile app we have installed, and then it gives you a complete execution report. So on top of that, it also generates playwright automation scripts, so you can directly uh, take them into your automation workflow if needed. In terms of where it works, it supports web application across multiple browsers: Chrome, Firefox, Safari, and it also supports mobile testing on Android and iOS. Another key part of this is RAG-based intelligence. So we can give it our internal company documents, which will be used can be used in the test case generation. Okay. So moving on to the tool. So this is the basic dashboard of Test Commit, where we have different stats of the suites, test cases generated, executions, and our recent executions. So moving on to AI test case generator. Uh, Here we provide the LLM with any user story or requirement. So I will be uploading a file with the requirements. Okay. So we now have the user story, which is related to a sorting and filtering module. And we can also then provide further information for the target platform. So here we will be running the test on a website, source demo, which is an e-commerce demo website. We have given the target URL and credential information if they are needed. Okay, so now I will start generating the test cases. So this will take around 20 to 30 seconds because we are aiming for a wider coverage of test cases, including positive, negative, edge, and boundary cases. Okay, so here we have the generated test cases by the LLM. It has included positive scenarios, edge, boundary conditions. Each test case has a description, steps, and the expected results. So if we right now the RAG isn't configured, but if we want, we can upload RAG documents in the settings, and those will be used as extra context for with the LLM test case generation. So here I will save all the test cases generated. Okay, so this is the test repository for the web execution test cases. So here we can have different suites folders for different modules. So these were the test cases we just generated. So the execution supported on here for web are allow different browsers for Chrome, Firefox, Edge, WebKit, etc. So we can look into one detail of this. So this test case has a title, steps, expected results, execution history, JSON format. So now I will run one of this. So what
I'm
now?
sorry, are we taking questions right now, or
At the
because I
end.
have one question right now? Like, we just have generated the test cases, but how are we going to make sure that these test cases are complete in sense of requirement, and who is going to review? Um, because we have not reviewed them yet, and we have started executing them, so there might be possibility AI generated test cases have some faults. It has missed anything, so I believe reviewing at this stage is a necessary thing.
Yes, so when we generate test cases and they were displayed on the screen, there's always an option for editing the test cases, the title, description, or any adding or removing any test step. So obviously the AI, they have very high accuracy with test case generation, but they are not completely accurate. So there's need for human review on that. So we can at any time edit the test cases and then run those. Okay. So what has happened here is that I asked the agent to execute the test case we just generated on the given URL. So these were all the steps it executed and then stored the result here as well. While executing, it also created and video evidence, which we can see in the history. So this is where all the execution histories go. This was the test case that was executed on the given URL. So here the agent went on the given URL. It then performed all the steps one by one while recording the video. And here we can see the actual results of the reason why the AI agent passed the result. And we can here also view the logs or the thought process the agent took. Okay, so after executing, there's also a feature for script generator. So for the test case we just ran, we can then ask the AI to generate playwright scripts for that as well. Okay, so this is the playwright script generated based on the execution data. It has the playwright script as well as the selectors it used. So it also supports mobile execution. So we can install our APK or IPA on Android and iOS, and the workflow is the same for that. So I can also run a few more test cases. So here the agent is actually going on the URL and executing these steps, and the speed is quite impressive here as well. So it's actually similar to a human actually going there and executing these steps. So here it also gave the reason. Okay, so the execution is complete and we can see a video for one of these. So here the main step was to navigate, log in, and then add to cart for a few products and see if the cart was updated correctly. So the agent was able to execute all those steps, perform the required actions, and then pass or fail the test case. So there's also another feature where we can integrate this with directly with Jira, and we can then for the failed test cases or the test cases which had any error, we can then directly uh, report those inside Jira. So this will create an bug issue a bug issue ticket in Jira. So this was an overview of an AI-powered tool which utilizes LLMs, AI agents, RAG applications, and they have combined all those in one single solution that can help us in. Sorry, so that can help us in uh, increasing the speed of our execution, increasing the accuracy. Okay, so moving on to the slides. So this is also an important topic that uh, that is when we should not trust AI outputs directly, especially in testing. So a few reasons for. Okay, so I think due to less timeout issues, we would have to stop the presentation over here. so that there's time for your questions and answers.
Yes, Roslan, you have a question.
Yes, guys. First of all, thank you so much for presenting this. It was very, very interesting. I have a question relating to a couple things. So let's say you guys building using AI manual test cases, right? And generating the manual test cases. Now, per your experience, what was the accuracy and rework percentage on those test cases based on the human testers involved? Because I saw very quickly some of the test steps which got generated. Maybe some people didn't see, but I saw already some hallucinations there where one of the steps were click on login or submit button. You see, click on login or submit button. It does not provide you, a direct indication. So there's multiple things which, requires to rework. So I'm just curious, how much time you guys, spent on average or percentage wise, or how reliable the output is from the LLM, from AI generated manual test cases.
Okay, so speaking about the AI test case generation, so it all depends on how good your actual prompt was, or the user story you provided to the LLM was. So it depends on how detailed that was. So if it has all the steps or the details required for the names of the button of the workflows, then obviously the test cases will be, or the steps will be more detailed or clear. So the user story I used here was only, I think, 4 to 5 lines. So we can, it depends on the provided user story, and then the RAG feature is also there. So if we want to provide it with extra context, we can upload our documents in the RAG, which will be used by the LLM. So the output accuracy of the LLM, it all depends on what we are providing to it. And for the execution part, the agent is smart enough that even if there's some confusion, it can take snapshots of the screen and then figure out what it has to do.
Got it. So for the let's say most accurate user story, which you uploaded, right, as the input, and then generated the test cases based off that, you didn't have to modify anything. You were able to rely fully on the output, and no, edge cases or negative scenarios were missed by the tool when you were able to upload a very detailed level user story?
Yes, so from my experience, the test cases generated and the execution, I would say the accuracy is above 85% for those. So obviously the LLM can miss some edge cases, but we can also manually add test cases ourselves in English. So the main value of tools such as this it takes some time to initially set up test cases or test suites, but after they are set up, after we are satisfied with the every test step or test cases, that's where the real value can come, because then it's all automated. For example, if we want to do set up a regression suite for a module, it would take some time to set up that, but after it's done, then we just have to execute the batch test cases, and the agent will handle everything itself. And everything is done in plain English, so we can, if there's anything missed, we can easily add that in the test cases. So in my experience, the accuracy has been above 85% for agents like these.
Okay. And for the automation, my last question, I see a lot of hands. I want to let people ask the questions as well. For the automation conversion, right, based on the manual test cases, which initially got generated, per your experience, are the conversions comprehensive, meaning that, you have the manual test cases with steps, everything is getting automated correctly, or there's some missing things from the manual test case coverage? So in other words, you have a baseline of 100 manual test cases with, a collection of thousands steps in it. Now, when you ask AI to convert this to the automation scripts, now, is it one-to-one, one step to one step automation conversion, or certain things are getting missed, certain things are not getting converted properly? Like, what is your experience in this?
Okay, so with the script generator, I think a bit more editing is required, or human reviews more required in that. So the scripts generated give a good selectors or the workflow, but they have to be then manually be reviewed and integrated into the automation workflow. So in that, a bit more work is required for this tool. Can speak for
But
the
that
others.
saves you on average. I mean, is it fair to say that even with this, that you need to adopt the scripts into your framework, and you need to review and make sure it still saves you, let's say a
Yes.
good 30% of effort if you would
Yes.
start this from scratch? Yeah.
Yes,
You would.
I would say it would.
Okay. Gotcha.
Even,
All right. Thank you
even
so much.
Yeah, one thing, Roslan, here, what we observed actually, these tools are more efficient in functional testing, but when we talk about the automation testing, they are not as accurate as they are for the functional testing.
Gotcha. All right. Very good insight. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Right. So, Abdullah, I just wanted to know, is there any flakiness observed in this tool? And another question would be, does it support, login via Google, Microsoft, stuff like that? And what if an environment is VPN protected? So, is there any support for that as well?
Yes, so the test executions can be flaky at times. And for the second question you had, that if the environment has VPN protected, so the tool also has an feature for agent setup. So this is basically where you can download the agent and it would run on your CLI. So you can download the .exe file and then connect it via the CLI, and all your test cases will then be run locally on your device. So it won't be connected with the server. So that
Okay.
should.
Yeah, and if the site has, a social sign-on via Google or Microsoft, does it also support that as well?
Yes, I think it would. So if there aren't any bot detectors or security layers, then it should work perfectly fine.
Okay, but it would be better if that are disabled on a lower environment, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Abdullah, we have few questions in the chat as well for you.
So one of the questions is from me. For me, it feels like, this is a promotion of the product only. For AI, there's no, connectivity with Jenkins or CI/CD. So how are we catering this one using AI? The tool that you're showing.
So we are not partnered with the tool in any way. Uh, so this is just an example of one of the tools that are in the market. There are other tools such as TestMU that's doing a really good job, TestSprite. So I think those also offer CI/CD pipelines where the agent will also execute and then generate playwright scripts, and it can push to the pipelines. So you
Got
can
it.
also explore other tools as well.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Abdullah, there was a question regarding the tokens as well. There are a couple of questions. Can you check them in the chat history?
okay.
How many tokens these models are using? Something like this.
So that I think is something the test comment, they have different packages for that. So it would be better if someone is interested, they can visit this site
Okay. And then there was a question from Ahmed. There were a couple of questions. One was testing of larger application like the ERP or CRMs with these AI prompts or AI testing tools. And secondly, the career guidance for an initial person who is trying to join the QA. So what are your take regarding the larger system testing with these AI tools?
So I think it can support all applications, but I haven't personally had experience with the ERP
Yeah, one
applications.
thing is clear. As much as context we can give to the AI, the better the results will be. So if there is a larger application, there will be lacking in the context. So it might not work as good as it work for the smaller application, but still we can use it to some extent. Ahmed. And secondly, regarding someone fresh graduate who want to join the QA, there are always opportunities available. We haven't moved to the 100% to the AI model testing. So the trend is getting more and more actually, but it's not the only thing which is happening in the market. People are still using the legacy system, even the desktop applications are still available in the market. So there is always a scope, but there is one thing which is trending, which more in demand. So that is something AI. Yeah, Raslan, I think you have a few other questions as well.
Yes, one of the major problems which we facing is obviously you show in the first part of the presentation how you're leveraging ChatGPT or let's say Cloud AI, to generate manual test cases or to conduct a requirements review, right? All of this requires upload the requirements, which is very sensitive information, right? I mean, and many companies which we're dealing with obviously does not want their new requirements for the new brand new applications getting uploaded in the cyberspace. So I mean, I see big problem essentially leveraging all LLMs, chat GPT or cloud AI, because it can have a risk of compliance lawsuits and stuff like that. So do you guys see any other possibility of how you can address and solve this problem?
So yes, this is a real issue. For that, I think many companies have tried using local models or locally trained models as well. So if I think that could be one way to prevent the security issues for that.
But you mean local models is building their local agents for that? Or, I mean, how can you use ChatGPT locally?
So I was talking about LLM models which can be used locally. Was the question regarding some AI tool uh,
No,
or the browsers?
just the general, because anybody can claim, oh, I can use ChatGPT to build the test cases, to review requirements, but that triggers uploading confidential documentation, right? Which is not really permissible or advisable. So in this particular case, how would you, for example, if you're dealing with banking or healthcare industry, how would you deal with that and still be able to produce, manual test cases and generate manual test cases or review requirements or, talk about specific domain where you want, AI to help you to navigate through some of the unknown business rules. You have to, share some kind of information, and that information is very sensitive, right?
Yeah. I haven't honestly looked much into that, but I can.
I know it's a global
look into
problem. I mean, I wish
Yeah.
I could have a solution for it as well. I thought maybe you guys.
Yeah, actually,
have.
Razman, actually, I actually explored a couple of tools which were actually addressing this issue by having a local storage of the data. So that
Uh-huh.
whenever you upload something, they are not exposed to the internet or to the LLM. So it was handling all that internal or confidential data internally to that that company actually. It wasn't public data. It wasn't available to all others over the internet. It was only handling internally. So that is
Mhm.
something I have seen in few tools.
Got it. Because even, for example, if you even have an enterprise level tool, which considered to be an AI tool, like the one which you just demonstrated, test comment, right? Still, I mean, we see a lot of resistance of vendor, and compliance officers within the organization who allow to onboard those tools because they're afraid that some of this, again, especially on the requirement side, confidential information can be leaked through those platforms. So that becomes a pretty big challenge, even if you have tools, and let's say it's not your own tools or enterprise level tools. Organizations still very skeptical to allow onboarding of those tools, and that's where it's kind of you have the tools, but you cannot
Yeah,
use the tools.
absolutely, absolutely. That's a major concern. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, we have another question.
Yeah, Sajid, I just wanted to add that we are using currently in our company Gemini Pro version. So it does not basically train LLM based on our data that we provide. So we have this capability in Gemini Pro version.
Okay, great, great for
Got
sure.
it.
And I think we have some open source model as well, like GLM or Kimi 2.5, something we can deploy that locally and use that or utilize that LLM. Do we provide support for that? I'm curious just to know.
Abdullah, can you answer please
Sorry,
regarding
could
this
you?
specific tool? Yeah.
So you're asking if the tool can support local providers?
Yeah, exactly. But my question is, all this tool is generating test cases and then scripting and all those things. So is this restricted to some specific LLM model like Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude something, or
Okay.
we the user have support to they can deploy or they can use their own open source model as well.
So I think currently they offer three providers only. So Gemini, Claude, and OpenAI. But again, we are. You could reach out to their team. They might find some solution for you.
Yeah.
So we are
Okay.
not
Got it.
representing their team. There, I think there are also other tools, such which are similar to this, and they might offer local support,
Yeah.
local model support. So
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. And I have another question. Like, in most in real scenarios, we about the PRD or the Jira ticket. There, for example, there's not much detail. There, like the structure is mismatched. So, what will this tool do in that case? For example, is this something enhancing the PRD or the ticket as well?
no, so right now it only right now if you just publish a bug, it just creates a ticket in Jira, which then would be have to be manually edited if there's any further information needed.
So what kind of information it basically needs, or this tool need from us to enhance and generate test cases?
I think it currently only supports sending or creating a Jira ticket.
So what kind
Bug
of
ticket.
information it need from us as a from the user?
Uh, I'm
Like
not sure about.
for example, let me give you an example. Like what I'm facing right now is we should have like a proper the acceptance criteria, the technical or the APIs as well. We need to provide all those technical things in our Jira ticket. So based on that information, our LLM will be able to generate test cases and then convert that into the scripting part. And I believe the scripting part is we can cover. But the important thing is the test cases. Like it's like a garbage in, garbage out. If LLM is not is not generating test cases, LLM is generating test cases in every scenario. But we humans should be in the loop to check are those test cases are capable to execute or not. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But
No, you're so right. Human review, I think, is very important because AI hasn't developed at that stage where it can completely replace the human need. So the human need or the domain knowledge of the QA, I think that is very important, which the software testers have, and that
okay, got it. But another question is, for example, it generates 10 test cases, in which six of those test cases is automatable, and the four of them is manually. So, what I mean by what this tool will do with that manual test cases? Will it automate that as well? Although it just required some manual intervention, or we can execute those test cases manually.
so we can run those manually as well. So we can decide which we want to run through the agent execution. Is that what you are asking?
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious because if we talk about the Playwright MCP, so the MCP is like what is it's doing is it's like taking screenshot from the screen and then taking action. So it's like a live action, like for the OAuth. By the OAuth, I mean login with Google or login with GitHub or something. So if it click on the login with Google, it will just another window, sub window will be pop up, and it can execute that. But once we convert that into the scripting, we all know that it required some secret key, some token, and those things to automate the OAuth thing. So what it will do in that case? What I mean by that is the Playwright can do that to execute the manual test cases, but in scripting, we all know that it's like it will be more and more flaky.
Yes. So I believe more editing would be required for the playwrights generated scripts.
Okay, so I what I'm thinking is we should have control in this tool, like to. I'm just giving a feedback from my side. Please take it like a positive feedback, please. But I'm just curious to. We should have a proper control, like what test cases I want to automate and what test cases I want to keep it manually.
I mean, actually, the purpose of presenting this tool is just to give you an real flavor of the tool, how we can use these tools. As Abdullah mentioned multiple times, we are not partnering with tool. It's just for the demo purpose. We were using this tool just for the demo purpose.
And
And it's not a complete tool. Yeah, there are lots of areas where it needs to be improved. And there
I
might be
really
other
appreciate
tools
that.
there are other
Sorry
tools
for
as well.
the
Yeah.
sorry for the interruption, but I really appreciate. I'm really appreciating for the presentation, and I'm just giving you some suggestion or advice. That's why I just mentioned that. Please take it
Yeah.
positively,
Yeah.
because I'm facing these kind of issues right now in my current organization. So I'm just looking for some suggestions or looking for some solution as well.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Actually, we are
Thank you.
already above our time. So you can send an email, the email I shared, info@the rate of testiva.io, and we can discuss
Yeah,
the
sure.
session
Sure.
there.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and once again, thanks to everyone who joined us. Actually, I'm also planning to conduct few more such session where we will discuss the automation testing, because today's focus was primarily on the functional testing, but I also wanted to discuss the automation testing as well as testing the AI models. So might be there will be a few more such session in the future as well. Yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.